How should we actually begin the conversation? हमें ऐसा क्या करना चाहिए so that वो हमारे साथ है beginning से?
Biggest challenge for me was making friends.
How did you come into this line and started helping people with communication?
So I started doing small things, saying hello to a few people. And then in 2020, guess what happened? COVID hit.
Yes.
Now I'm in a different place. I am dying to travel Australia, and then nobody is traveling. My first full-time job in Australia was door-to-door sales. As a person, one of the most crucial skills to have is the skill of communication. The win for you is not delivering a great speech in the beginning.
Right.
It's delivering a speech.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how it goes. Don't make it about yourself. Make it about the people listening to you. To have a good body language, I would say there are many, but let me just share two. For voice, volume is the lifeline. And for volume, breadth is the lifeline of volume. To be a great speaker, to be a great communicator, you have to be interesting.
Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of the Gargiarya Show, a show to help you live and design a life and a business that you can be proud of. And today we are back with yet another powerful episode with a very mesmerizing personality. You know what, before I even introduce about him, I'll just tell you what we are going to discuss. We will be going deeper into communication, public speaking, because as they say that public speaking is the first fear of people before even they talk about death, and that's what we are going to dig deeper. So if you are an entrepreneur, coach, or anyone into the speaking world, make sure that you stay tuned for this podcast, because the person that I am about to introduce you, he's a public speaking coach, he's a communication coach. He helps people, entrepreneurs, corporate people and coaches to understand more and more about their communication skills, teach them confidence, communication and visibility. So without any further ado, welcome Shiv sir to the podcast. Super excited to have you over here.
Thank you, Gargi. That was a mesmerizing introduction. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been introduced like that. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was well researched.
Yes, and you coming here from Sydney, it was like a perfect alignment that, we had to make it together.
Thank you so much. Honestly, right now I'm coming from Rohini to Noida.
Okay.
It took me a long time. So I'm now getting used to the daily traffic again.
Amazing. So how are you feeling today?
I'm so excited. I can't tell you. This is such a beautiful space, and I've had a chat with you a few times already.
Yes.
I think this is going to be really, really valuable.
Amazing.
And I am very excited to be able to share what I've learned over the last decade with everyone listening.
Awesome. So let's begin. Before even we go deeper into the conversation, I just want to start with your story, because we all have something in our life जो हमें trigger करता है, and then we do whatever we do. So how did you come into this line and started helping people with communication?
Look, every time I share this story, I tell that it would sound like made up, or it's a very cliche story. I grew up in Delhi, and as a teenager, I was let's say very socially awkward.
Okay.
What you see right now is a product of 15 years of chipping at that craft. But if you met me when I was in school, you would find me at the corner at the back of the class. I only had one close friend who I would speak to, and I got bullied as a kid as well because I was not that socially well off. So I had a very challenging upbringing during that time. So fast forward to my graduation. So after I finished my school, I was thinking nobody is going to know me when I enter my bachelor's. So I can be whoever I want. They don't know this Shiv is the guy who was bullied and had only one friend, had trouble speaking and making friends. So when I entered my BBA, I thought I'm going to be the person that I always wanted to be, because nobody here knows who I was. So I started going to a lot of debates, elocutions, and any opportunity I could find where I could be on stage in front of an audience. And in college, you get so many of those opportunities. I would raise my hand. And it wasn't like that I went there and I was like, yes, I'm great. A lot of times, most of the times, I went and I blanked out. And everyone was just staring at me. All I wanted to do was run away and hide. But during those 3 years, I just did so many times. I went on stage, forgot my script, that I started getting used to being on stage and being okay to feeling like a fool. Then for my master's, I decided, let's moved to Sydney and studied there. So I did MCom at University of Sydney. I went there in 2019.
Okay.
I was thinking when I was on the plane that again, hey, nobody knows me in Sydney. I can be again whoever I want. When I landed there, it was a different story. It was the first time I was living away from my family. And one of the biggest challenges is, of course, cooking your own food because you don't learn that when you're with your family. But the second biggest challenge for me was making friends. I got super, super conscious about the way I speak English, about my English, because I was in an English-speaking country. And I, again, found myself in the same bubble, and I would find myself in the back of the class. And I was moving towards the same teenage Shiv that used to be. And then I was like, why is this happening? Why am I not able to make friends? So I started doing small things, saying hello to a few people. And then in 2020, guess what happened? COVID hit.
Yes.
Now I'm in a different place. I am dying to travel Australia, and then nobody is traveling. So in 2021, when I graduated and things started becoming a little bit better, I was thinking, what is a job that can help me travel Australia and get paid?
Okay.
So I decided to do this.
Okay.
Can you guess what that is?
Door-to-door selling?
That's right. So when I graduated, my first full-time job in Australia was door-to-door sales, and I did that for about 2 years. Over that span, I knocked on 8,000 doors. I know because every day we would make notes of who we spoke to, how many people. So I counted all of those sheets. It's roughly about 8,000 people across those 2 years. Sydney is very multicultural. So I was able to connect with people from all over the world. And that is where I learned that as a person, one of the most crucial skills to have is the skill of communication. Because it goes deeper than just being confident. It goes beyond just being visible and feeling like a celebrity. At its very core, communication is how we connect.
Yes. So true.
Is how society works. And the biggest thing that I've seen happening, and it breaks my heart, is that there are so many talented people out there. There's so many nice, kind people out there that have amazing ideas in their head. They have music in their heart. They want to sing. But because they're not able to communicate, they're not able to connect with the world. So after I did my door-to-door sales, I learned that communication at its very core is about connecting. And now I'm super passionate about helping other people to connect with people. Communication is just the method they do it from.
So true. You know, like I connected with the line of where you said communication is all about connection, because I myself as a coach see so many people struggling with this thing. And I'll just like to, ask this question to you. Jesse, you are also into Instagram, you are also into LinkedIn. We know the power of social media. And when it comes to speaking, a lot of people use scripts. You know, they use scripts कि वो बिल्कुल ऐसा लगता है कि वो कहीं से पढ़ के बोल रहे हैं. So what is your key takeaway for those people, or message to those people who are not able to connect, but they are, really coming from that heart to serve?
If you have the right intentions, if you genuinely are there to connect with people, whether it is one-on-one or if you're in front of 1,000 people and you're there to serve the audience, you're there to serve the person you're talking to, you have the intention of curiosity. I want to know more about you. You're there to connect. If you have the right intentions, first of all, I think that tops any other tips, tricks of being a good speaker. If you have the right intentions, that's the first thing. That's where you start. After that, scripts. I mean, look, whatever works for you in content creation. When I was creating videos and I got into YouTube videos, I had a teleprompter because I was like, okay, this is going to help me speak better. Didn't work for me. So now I go with bullet points. And the same thing I usually would tell my clients, if they are on stage delivering a speech, practice your speech, write it down, but do not memorize it word for word.
Exactly.
Know it at the back of your head, have bullet points ready, but you shouldn't be too rigid with the words, because when I'm talking to you, maybe I was rehearsing these answers too, and which I did, but it's still not the same word.
Yes.
The concept is the same, the bullet points are the same, but it's not word for word.
Yes.
So I generally recommend have 70% of your content prepared. By prepared, I don't mean like ratta nahi marna usko, but by prepared I mean that you have spoken it enough times that you have internalized it. There is a difference between ratta marna and internalizing it.
Yes.
So internalize it, rest 20-30%, leave it impromptu. Leave it on the energy of the room. Leave it on the day. Like maybe something comes up and you're able to play with it. So
Right.
30% of it could be impromptu.
Okay, so do you have any techniques where you would like to suggest people this is how they should speak or this is how they should connect with people on Instagram or social media?
On Instagram and social media, look, I personally do a very bad job at that. If you look at my Instagram, I'm not, I don't think I'm doing a good job at content creation. So I wouldn't be able to probably provide too many answers there.
Sure. So, here let's move into the conversation around introverts, because I feel being an introvert, it can really be very hard for you to express yourself out there in front of public or when it comes to stage performances. So, any tips you would like to suggest for the people who are introverts and they want to get into the field of public speaking, stage appearances?
Yes. First thing, you should know that you can. First thing, you should know that even if you're an introvert, being on stage speaking in front of thousands of people is not something out of reach. It might look like that, but I was one. And before we started this podcast, you were saying you are an introvert. And I don't think people watching it can tell because you do podcasts. So being an introvert, I feel, is your superpower, because what is that one thing that introverts are really good at? It's observing.
Yes.
It's listening.
Right.
Introverts can do that a lot better than extroverts, because extroverts like me are like, you're like too much energy. But an introvert is observing things. They're picking on cues, both verbal and non-verbal. First thing I would recommend or suggest you to start thinking is, yes, even if I'm an introvert, I can connect with people. I can do this. It's not, my entire personality is not that I am an introvert, I can't speak. First, get rid of that thought in your mind. The second, now you need a game plan. You need to figure out, okay, if I need to develop the skill, how can I get to a point when I'm speaking in front of 100 people? If that is your goal. Maybe that is not your goal. It's okay. Maybe your goal is to connect just one person at a time. Start small.
Right.
How can you say hello to one new stranger a day? Maybe you are waiting for that cup of coffee at Starbucks, and you say hello to the person waiting in front of you. Hi, how are you? What are you ordering? Right? It might look, it might sound very awkward, but those are the things. That the thing here is similar, that you are probably never gonna see that Starbucks person again. So even if you say coffee, order what? And you bomb that speech, you're probably never going to see that person again. But the thing is, you have practiced that muscle of being able to initiate a conversation. And if that is if you think that is also too many steps ahead, the easiest way for an introvert is call any customer call center, like ask for information. I don't know, call a telecom, and then you're like, hey, I'm looking for buying a SIM. What plans do you have? Very small. There is no risk there. I think all the people in customer service are gonna really be mad at me for recommending people to waste their time. But if you have something they genuinely want to buy, right, instead of looking at it online, researching about it, can you give them a call? Can you talk to them over phone call? Because you're not looking at them. That's the smallest thing. Do that a couple of times. Once you're done, or once you're comfortable with people on phone call, then you can start introducing yourself to people. And again, it's all about that muscle. It's all about practicing that, that skill set. So I think start small, find what your goal is, and work your way towards it. Now, let's say you get comfortable with talking to people one-on-one. Over the phone call, you can walk into any store and you're like, yes, I need some help. Can you help me?
Right.
After that, you are trying to develop public speaking, one-to-many. How can you do that? Start small. Again, 2-3 people is a crowd. I say anything more than 2 or 3, an audience of more than 2 or 3, you are doing a public speaking. So public speaking is not just you in front of 100, 1,000 people. It is 3 people. I started small. And the thing is, if you fail when you're starting small, it's okay. And you want to preserve yourself too, right? Like if you if you're not comfortable talking to one person and you suddenly find yourself in front of 1,000 and you do a really bad job, your confidence is going to be shattered. And it's very hard for you to do that again. But if you go 3, okay, now I've done that. Let's do 5. Let's do 10. Toastmasters is a good group you can join if you haven't heard of them in India. I used to go there myself.
Okay.
Or you can start your own group. Find people in your college, find people in your company and ask them, hey, I'm thinking that we should all work on our communication skills. How about we meet once a month for half an hour and then we all sit there and one person goes and then somebody gives them a random topic. What is your favorite food? Where do you want to travel? And that person speaks on it for 30 seconds, 1 minute, 1.5 minute, whatever. But everyone is sitting there. So they're getting real experience of speaking in front of a public. And then the audience can give them feedback. So what I would say is don't wait for that opportunity to come where you will be like, now I'm not an introvert, now I'm an extrovert. Take those tiny little steps and be conscious about it.
So true. Like, I could connect with you when you said that if you cannot speak to one person, you can not even do in front of 1,000, because I've had that experience. Like right now, it may not feel that I'm an introvert, but I'm more of a shy person. I used to go to events and I used to stand in the corner and not talk to anyone. And especially last year, the one thing I started doing was consciously putting myself in networking rooms, consciously going in crowded places and just talking to 1 to 2 people, because my first speech, I remember it was a disaster.
Yeah, mine too.
I gave it in a school where I was invited as a guest.
Right.
Yes.
And then how were you able to do that again? If it was a disaster, what did you tell yourself to do that again?
Okay, so trust me, like I felt good because that was something I did for the first time. So even though it was not 100%, for me that day was a day when I opened something inside of me, but my parents were telling me you were not good, you were not this.
Yeah.
But so basically my strategy is the first day I celebrate, even if it is a disaster, and the second day I reflect and see on my experiences.
Wow.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
So this is, so you asked the question of how did I get the confidence? I was like, we have to do it, tabhi better ho paoge aap.
100%.
Yes.
And that's the thing. People think that when they're speaking in the very beginning with any skill, right? Like if you're a sportsman, if you're an athlete, if you're a businessman, whatever you do in life, you can't be good from the get-go.
Yes.
But you can almost certainly never be good at it if you do not try. Jaise aapne kaha कि if you never start, आप कभी उस skill को improve नहीं कर पाओगे. So let's say when you go, the win for you as an introvert or as anyone who doesn't like public speaking, the win for you is not delivering a great speech in the beginning.
Right.
It's delivering a speech.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how it goes.
Exactly. That was my thought process also. Okay, so coming to the next thing which I want to ask from you. You have worked with so many people. You have been to so many stages. So, what are few of the mistakes you see people doing? Why is there so much fear? Like, ये चीज़ बहुत funny लगती है कि death से भी ज़्यादा लोग public speaking पे ज़्यादा, fearful या फिर बहुत ज़्यादा fears आते हैं.
Yeah.
So, maybe what are the mistakes that people are doing? या फिर public speaking को, one of my mentors says this, that take this public speaking as a conversation rather than a speech.
100%. First of all, I want to break a myth that a lot of people think. So people think that public speaking is the worst fear in the world than death. Are you being like, think about it, whoever created this, are you serious that if you're saying shoot me or put me on a stage, I think most people are going to go on stage. They're not going to take that bullet. So it is actually a myth. There was a very small study done many years ago, but it's not a wide study, well-researched study. So, but it sounds cool, so people use it. But I think most people would go on stage rather take the bullet.
Yes.
But to answer your question about what are some of the mistakes I've seen making, I'll say some of the mistakes I have made myself. Let me tell you that.
Yes.
The first one is, as I said, start from the right intention. In the beginning, when I used to go on stage, I would feel like, I'm on the stage, I want to do a great job, everyone should appreciate me, everyone should think that I'm a great public speaker, and everyone should be in awe of who I am. I think you should be saying good things like that, but before that, you should say, now I say that I am so grateful that I get this chance to speak at IIT. So I did a workshop at IIT Delhi with my parents in the front seat.
Wow.
That was a great thing for me because I said, I am so grateful that I'm able to help these students who are so technically skilled to help them connect. I'm there to serve them. My intention is to give them everything that I have and then some.
Yes.
So the biggest mistake a speaker could make is making it all about
You.
them. Oh, it's not about you, it's about
Them.
right? Public speaking, there's public in front of you. You being on stage is a gift, is a blessing. You are there and people are spending time to listen to you. Don't take it lightly, make it about them. So that's the number one mistake I think people make. Don't make it about yourself, make it about the people listening to you, right? The second biggest mistake is so common, not rehearsing enough. I'll say that again, not rehearsing enough. How do you expect to go on stage and think about, okay, I'm going to deliver this like that. And when I make this point, I'm going to use my body language like that. If the content is not internalized, if you're on stage and you're still thinking about the next sentence, there is no way that you'll play with your voice. There is no way you will look people in their eyes because at the back of your head is like, oh, what do I need to say next? What if I forget? I read this somewhere. Only a prepared speaker deserves to be a confident one. Only a prepared speaker deserves to be a confident one. If you want to be confident on stage, practice when there is no one watching, when there is no public. The number of hours I have spent in an empty room just speaking is crazy, and probably my parents were thinking I'm going crazy just speaking out loud in the room and thinking what is happening to our son. But I was there practicing in front of a mirror, in front of my camera. So prepare. And I think the number third mistake that I see, and you've said that, your mentor said it correctly, do not speak to them, speak with them, right? And it is hard. I'm not saying it is easy to do that when you're on stage. How do you speak to 1,000 people, right? How do you speak with 1,000 people? There are a lot of ways you can do that. The first one and the easiest, if you want to speak with them, is make them engaged in your talk. And how can you get them engaged? Many different ways. Easiest is raise your hand if, right? If you're watching me right now, raise your hand if you have ever had a gulab jamun, for an example, right? You never had it?
Yes.
You didn't raise your hand. So the very basic one is raise your hand if XYZ. But whatever you say after raise your hand if has to be a yes or a no question. Otherwise, the audience gets confused, right? I can't say raise your hand if you think you might have tried gulab jamun and it might be a good thing that you have tried. If you just make it too long, the audience wouldn't get it. Raise your hand if a yes or a no question, and then raise your hand yourself if you don't see anyone understanding. Don't start speaking until you see some hands being raised. Now, when someone has raised their hand, now you're speaking with them. They have moved their body. So the easiest one is that, and there are thousands different way of engaging the audience, but engaging the audience really means speaking with them.
So true. So, first of all, thank you so much for sharing so much of kind of knowledge that you're giving, because this is very highly important for anyone who is into the world of communication, and not just world of communication, ये तो आपको first hand आना चाहिए. So, let me go to a very personal question right now. Like, your energy is very infectious. So, first of all, thank you so much for, having this kind of energy and doing what you do. So what exactly do you do for this energy? Like, वो same रहती है? Do you do any kind of manifestation rituals? So what's the secret to your energy?
Look, I think, as you said, my energy is infectious, but it's also because yours is too. You have that same energy. The moment I said hello to you, you had that warm, wide smile on your face, and you welcomed me so nicely. And ever since then, before this podcast started, you had that energy and you had that enthusiasm. Which also reflected in the way I'm speaking. Great question. I think if you do not have energy and enthusiasm while you're talking to somebody one-on-one or even on stage, it's very hard to connect with people.
Yes.
Right? The connection happens. Why? It's because, and by the way, energy and enthusiasm are different for different people. My energy levels, my enthusiasm looks different than how it looks for you, than how it looks for someone else. Maybe
Right.
your enthusiasm doesn't necessarily mean moving your hands that much, but you can show it in your face. You can show it in the
Right.
way you speak. You can show it in the way you ask questions. What kind of questions do you ask? Energy and enthusiasm is just not what you
Right.
see, but also the way you speak.
Yes.
Right? So first of all, energy and enthusiasm are different, but they are one of the pillars of connecting with people. I'll
Yes.
tell you why. If I am not enthusiastic or have that energy in talking to you, why would you have that energy and enthusiasm listening to me? Right?
Yes.
Well, how can I say that, oh, you're not interested in what I'm saying when I show no interest in making any attempts or efforts to show you that energy? And I learned this in door-to-door sales, right? So enthusiasm is just like I don't know how many people are yawning right now, but enthusiasm is put you to sleep. You might need another coffee. Enthusiasm is just like yawning. It's infectious, it's contagious. And when you have that enthusiasm and energy while you're talking to somebody, highly likely they would want to reciprocate that. Their energy levels are raised. Now, how do I have my energy high? I'm just genuinely excited to be here. Like, I feel this is such a cool place to be in this room, talking to you, being able to share what I know with the audience. I'm super, super passionate about this. And that is coming from, again, that right intention of wanting to share everything that I have and wanting to help the audience. I'm just genuinely excited about this. But one of the things that people can do is you can take a piece of paper and write this statement. And this is backed by science, by the way. There was a study done by Harvard Business School. They find out that a body reacts the same way to when we feel nervous and when we feel excited. Think about it. When you're nervous, your hands start shaking. You get extra energy, extra adrenaline in your body. You feel restless. What happens when you're truly excited about something? Same things are happening to your body. So you can hijack all that extra energy being produced in your body. Let's say you have an interview, you have an important interview, you're panicking. You're stressing, you are in the front of the room, your name is about to be called, you have your resume on your hand, it's already wet because your hands are so sweaty, and you can hear your heartbeat through your chest. Take a piece of paper, write this down. I am so excited for this interview. Write it down, take that piece of paper in your hand, look at it, read it out aloud 10 times. I am so excited for this interview. I am so excited for this podcast. I am so excited about this public speech I'm going to give. I am so excited about XYZ. Read it out aloud, because then you're telling your mind that all the things that are happening to your body is not because you're nervous,
Right.
but they are because you are excited.
Excited.
And the reason you want to write it down and read it out aloud is because now you have involved a lot of senses.
Right.
So think about it. If I'm just saying this in my head, I'm saying I'm so excited, I'm so excited. I'm only thinking about it. But if I write it, read it out aloud, there are 4 senses that are involved. I'll tell you why. First is your touch, right? If you're writing on a piece of paper, you have the pen, your touch is involved.
Right.
Second is your sight, visual. You can see that in front of you, right? When you say it out aloud, you're using your voice. Third. And then when you use your voice, what happens? You can also hear your own voice. Number 4. So there are more senses involved, and it gets easier to believe I'm feeling excited. So if you don't feel excited, take a piece of paper and read it out like, I'm so excited, I'm so excited, I'm so excited. And it'll help you to get in that right state of mind.
So true. Like, I think once somebody actually implements whatever you are sharing, they are, going to get amazing results.
I hope so.
So, coming to the next question, which I want to ask from you, in an earlier answer, you had also spoken about, eyesight should be there. Like, you should have an eye contact with the other person. You should be able to focus on your tonality. You should have a body language. So, what's the importance of all these things in communication apart from the content that we are speaking?
So there, again, are many research that were done on what are the components of speaking.
Okay.
There are 3. One is your body language. Second is your voice, the vocal image. And the third is the content itself. Now, there are very many different studies that attribute different percentages to how important each of them are. But generally speaking, the consensus is that content is important. I'm never going to argue that content is not important. But you can have an amazing content, but if you do a very bad job at delivering it,
Yes.
people aren't going to listen to it.
Exactly.
How many times have you heard some speakers who did not have good content, but the way they delivered it was so engaging that it made you get on the edge of the seat? So it's very important to have good content, but it would never reach the audience if you do a terrible job with your body language and your eye contact.
Right.
So I think I'll just quickly share some of the very basic things in body language and vocal image in your voice that can help you deliver whatever you're speaking with impact.
Okay.
The first one is your body language. Because even before you utter a word, even before you say anything, what are people saying? Your face, the way you hold yourself, your posture, your body language, your expressions, everything about it. Even before you utter a single word, someone has looked at you and they have made an assumption.
First impression.
Yeah, and they are like, okay, is Gargi is gonna be a friend? Is gonna be an enemy? Do I want to listen to her? Is she gonna be delivering value? And it happens in microseconds. You can't even help it. So the way to have a good body language, I would say there are many, but let me just share two. The first one is hold your posture properly. Do not slouch.
Okay.
Like how many times you've probably seen someone who is walking onto the stage,
Yes.
their shoulders are down, their chin is down, and they're looking that they just woke up. The first thing you want to fix is your body. So you want to have your shoulders a little bit back, and you want to have your chin held high. So that's the very basic first thing, because your body is giving cues.
Yes.
When I'm like this, the thing is subconsciously, it's telling you that I'm not confident enough to take up space.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, already that this person is not going to be confident. If I take my space and I have my shoulders back, if I stand firm on my feet, I have my feet shoulder width apart, and I have my head high. I'm there. I'm not afraid. I'm not over imposing. I'm not saying go in and beat your chest, but stand like you belong there. Stand that you have something of importance to say. That's the very first thing. Second thing is something you do very well is your smile. Yes, you knew that. Smiling is so important because just like energy, right? Smiling is contagious too.
Right.
I'll give you an example. And I'm not saying smile all the time. Like, you don't have to be me. As I said, energy and enthusiasm are all personal things.
Exactly.
Everyone would have different ways. But if you can, maybe in the beginning of your speech, have that genuine light smile on your face to let everybody know that you're happy to be there. And then when you do that, it puts everyone at ease.
Exactly.
When that happens, they are already your friend and they want to see you succeed too. But again, two things important. If the context is right, like you don't want to smile at the wrong speech.
Yes.
And then B, do not have a very fake smile on your face as well. Have that genuine smile.
Yes.
It again ties back to the intention. If you have the right intention, of course you're going to have that smile because you're happy to be there. So two things to recap in body language. Your posture, shoulders back, feet shoulder width apart, chin high. Very basic. Anyone can fix this in a second. Second thing is have that light, genuine smile on your face.
So true. Yes, thank you so much for sharing these things because, these are the basic things which people forget when they walk up to the stages.
That's right. So that's the body language part. And now let's go a little bit about voice.
Okay.
Again, there's 1,000 things there, but I'll probably just share the very basic, very fundamental of your voice. No, it's not a glitch. I just did not have any volume when I was speaking. That's the very volume is the lifeline of your voice. If you go on stage or if you're talking to somebody one-on-one and you do not have enough volume, they can't hear you, how are you going to connect with them? And sometimes the other person or the audience is too polite to tell you, hey, can you speak a bit louder? They don't correct you. And then you're thinking and hoping that they are listening to you when you're not audible. So for voice, volume is the lifeline. And for volume, breath is the lifeline of volume. Think about this. After you worked out and you were out of air, were you able to speak properly?
No.
Right? So we need air in our diaphragm, in our lungs, to be able to project our voice. So to recap, for your voice, make sure that you're loud enough that the other person can hear it. And this might be something you need to check with your friends and your colleagues. Hey, do you think that I speak loud enough? Do you ever have troubles listening to me? If you get that feedback from a lot of people, similar feedback, then you can start increasing the level of your volume. And especially on stage, if you don't have a mic, make sure that you, in the very beginning of your speaking journey, if you're not used to knowing how loud you are, have one of your friends at the very back of the room. And when you start speaking, give them a cue that, hey, if I'm not loud enough, give me a sign, like maybe go like this so I know I have to speak loud. Don't speak to the front row, try to speak to the last row.
Yes.
So I would say those would be my basic fundamental tips.
Right. I have a personal experience on the last thing that you just said. Don't speak to the front row, speak to the last one, because वहीं पे सबसे ज़्यादा वो वाले लोग होते हैं जो सुनते नहीं हैं. So like I think I went to a school where I had to deliver a talk, and specifically like people who are of my age, they are more into such things कि वो सुनते नहीं हैं, वो अपने friends group के साथ ही रहते हैं. So especially I think that was one of the best speeches I've given so far, because I was only concentrating to the last row apart from the front and the middle row, because they are already in the front end, so वो तो सुनेंगे ही. But when it comes to engaging, I was trying to engage more people कि you tell me. So I think that really works like magic.
That's great. You're already implementing it. Yeah.
Super. So I'll talk about, I'll come to this segment of beginning of the stage performance. So here you just, you were talking more about the beginning things, that how you can start the conversation. So here I just want to ask one thing, that people's attention span is very less right now. कि वो आप first sentence जो भी बोलोगे, या तो they will be with you or they will completely go out of the flow.
I hope everyone is with us right now.
Yes. So I just wanted to ask कि how should we actually begin the conversation? हमें ऐसा क्या करना चाहिए so that वो हमारे साथ है beginning से?
Right. So you're saying how to start a conversation properly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there is a framework called SEE. That's something that we learned when I was doing door-to-door sales, because every time I would knock on a door, someone opens it, I had a very few seconds to say something that will hold their attention and make them want to speak to me in a few seconds. So C is the very basic framework someone can use when you go to a networking event and you want to start a conversation. Have this, and there are many more. Let's start with C. It stands for, S is for smile. We have already talked about it. E, I'll give you an example. Let's see if you guys can figure it out. I'm doing it currently to the camera and to the audience. And I'm going to stop it in 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. So I was doing something that I'm not doing any longer. Gargi, do you think you can guess it, what it might be?
Okay. Maybe looking.
Yes, eye contact.
Yes.
So I was looking at the camera first, and then I removed it. Eye contact. And the third one, we have talked about it, is enthusiasm. 3 pillars of when you go and introduce yourself. Hi, I'm XYZ. Have these 3 things to have a good first impression. Smile, we've already touched base on, so I won't go into that. Eye contact, I'll tell you why it is important. When I am looking in your eyes, I am acknowledging you are there. I'm acknowledging you. So it lets you know that I see you.
Yes.
And I'm not saying you have to stare people in the eyes 24/7. You can always have that little slight. You take off your eye contact, you bring it back to them. But here's an example as well. If you remember looking at Tom and Jerry or any other cartoons, you remember if there was a thief and they were, how would their eyes be? It was like everywhere except where they were talking to. So eye contact builds trust. It lets you know I have nothing to hide. I can be trusted.
Right.
And the third one was enthusiasm, which we have already talked about as well.
Super.
So when you go, remember see, smile, eye contact, enthusiasm as soon as you start that conversation. And after that, the fundamental of making sure that you have someone's attention from the very beginning is, again, intention.
Yes, so true.
Intention of letting the other person know that I see you, I hear you, right? everybody loves themselves, and if you can make the other person feel like that you genuinely want to learn about their story, then you can connect. I used to think that to be a great speaker, to be a great communicator, you have to be interesting. I'm so smart, I have all the jokes, I'm so funny. That might work, but what works better is being interested
Yes.
in the other person. I want to know more about, Gargi, your journey. I want to know about what is your goal. Without making sound like an interview,
Right.
but that genuine curiosity and the right intention of learning from you about your story first is a great hack, especially for introverts,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
If you don't want to speak and if you don't want to be the person who is under the spotlight, put the spotlight on the other person.
Yes.
Again, the genuineness is important because people can smell. They can tell if you're genuinely asking these
Yes.
questions or are you just pretending to ask them.
Right. And I think this is not just in communication, this is a very important pointer for relationships also, because if you are really interested to go deeper into understanding someone deeply, you can make them feel more and more loved and seen. That is what matters. Yes. Okay, so coming to the next thing which I want to ask, let's say, you are 20 years old. So how can you work on your communication skills? How can you master the skill of communication in the next 5 to 10 years?
So if you're 20 years old and you're listening to this, bravo. It's great that you have, if you have realized that you want to build on this skill. The right time to work on your communication was yesterday. So what you can do in the next 5 to 10 years to master the art of communication, which is one-on-one, public speaking, in anything, start.
Yes.
Right? Don't wait until you're 25 and think, oh, I'm just going to wait for the right opportunity at my workplace when I become a manager and I have a team to lead. That's when I'm going to work on the skill. No, you need to start today. And how do you start? As we were discussing earlier, start small. Right? Maybe make that phone call. Go to a store and ask someone in the store for help. Hey, I'm trying to buy this. Can you please guide me through? Have that conversation with them. Start very small, and then have a proper plan. Okay. In this first, and if you're 20 years old, you're in college. As I said, when I was in my college, I was raising my hand for going to different elocutions, debates, any competition where I was on stage and speaking, I would raise my hand. So do that. And here's a trick to do it.
Okay.
It's super important. It's called the 3-second rule.
Okay.
If you find yourself in a place and an opportunity arises and you're asked to give a speech or sign up for something, raise your hand in the first 3 seconds and then think about, oh shit, I've signed up for this. What do I do now? And I'll tell you the importance and how magical this is. So last year, I was sitting in an audience of a TEDx talk at University of Sydney. Amazing speakers there. And I was just at the very back. I was listening and I was like, wow, this is so cool. One of the MCs during the break, they had this activity where they said, we are looking for someone who wants to give a 20-second TEDx talk. I was at the very back and I was jumped out of my seat and I was waving my hand like a madman at the back. I did that within the first 1 second. Even before they finished the question, I was ready. And I know not everybody would be like that. In fact, in that, I don't think anybody raised their hand for that question. And was I confident when I raised it? No, I didn't even think. I just raised it. I stood up and I was shivering. I was so nervous because now I've signed up to speak in front of 150 people in a TEDx environment and everyone is looking at me. So I was at the very back of the stage. The stage is there and everyone is, of course, sitting on their seats. They're looking in front and I was at the very back. It was an elevated kind of sitting arrangement. Now everyone is turning back and they're looking at me. So now the stage has gone to the back and everyone is looking at me and I'm feeling nervous. My body is shivering. But I raised my hand and it was one of the most surreal experiences I had in my life. And now I can say that I've given a 20-second TEDx talk.
Okay, so would you like to go and share your experience over there?
Of?
The 20 seconds TEDx talk.
Sure. I mean, they asked me the question. They said, they said, are we going to give you a topic? And then you have to quickly just give it, right? So they asked me, what is your favorite movie and why? Now, I'm standing up shivering, by the way, right? Like I'm still shivering. Now what I'm doing, by the way, I'm telling myself constantly, I'm excited, but because my body is, if you say that if you're a confident speaker, even if I've spoken in front of thousands of people, but I still get nervous because that was not a place I was prepared to be speaking. And my body was shivering. Can you believe that? Would you believe that a public speaking coach, his body was shivering? It's fine. It's human. It's okay to feel that way. If you feel that way, it's fine. But when I was standing, I was telling myself, I'm so excited, I'm so excited, I'm so excited. And quickly my energy shifted. And when they asked that question, I was like, how can I buy more time? Another trick. If you get asked a question in an interview or any place you don't know the answer to and you want to take a little bit more, ask the question back. So what I did was very, very smartly, I said, my favorite movie and why. So like I knew I got the question right, but I just said that again to buy me extra 5-10 seconds. And then I said, it's the one that I'm living right now.
Okay.
And then the whole audience erupted. Oh, and I was like, wow. Even I was amazed at this answer. I was like, how did I come with this? Because I genuinely think that we are all living a movie, right? Like it's a story that we are writing.
Amazing.
And we are the hero and heroine of our own lives. So I think the best or my favorite movie is the one that I'm writing. And this is a new scene in that as well. Like this podcast is a new scene in that movie.
I think I'll take this as my favorite line from now on.
Which
that
one?
the best movie. Like if somebody asks me what's your favorite movie, it's the one I'm living right now. So I'll take it as my favorite
Give
line.
me credits, okay? In the footnotes.
Yes, done. Okay, so let's come to, you were answering this thing in your answer where you shared that koi bhi agar answer dena ho and you are not able to, answer, question it back. So here I just want to ask related to job interviews. So wahan pe if somebody is preparing for a job, if somebody is not getting into the career that they want to, so how to exactly maybe some of the strategies to prepare or answer the questions for a job interview?
Right. So there are many. The thing with job interviews is that they're going to be curveballs. There will be questions that you might not know the answer of right away. So it's very important to go there with some tools in your toolkits that you can use.
Right.
Here are a few of them. The first one is a framework called PREP.
Okay.
PREP, which stands for point, reason, example,
Okay.
and point. Maybe ask me a question you might ask in a job interview and I'll give you an example.
Okay. So maybe what's your experience as a public speaker?
Yeah. So my experience as a public speaker has been phenomenal. I have loved every bit of it because it's just a thing that I'm so passionate about, teaching people how to connect with others. For an example, right now I'm on this podcast and I'm helping the listeners learn how to improve this craft. So yeah, I think my experience as a public speaker has been just phenomenal and I don't take it lightly. Now, there was a structure to it. When you were listening, were you able to follow it?
Yes.
Right?
It was an organized way.
Organized way. I used PREP. I made the point that my favorite thing about speaking is like it has been phenomenal. And then I said the reason. I gave you the reason why it is phenomenal because I love being able to help people. And then I gave an example. For an example, right now, we are doing that as well. And then I summarized it. I brought it back by saying the point again. So yeah, my experience as a public speaker has been phenomenal. So if you get asked a question in an interview and you're like, okay, how can you know that answer but very vaguely, you can think about, okay, I'm going to start with the point, then I can give a reason, an example if I can think of one, and then summarize it back again with the point. So PREP is one of them. Which is super important and super easy to just know at the back of your head.
Okay, superb. So thank you so much first of all for answering it so amazingly. So here I just want to ask one more question since we are talking about the practical part. But here I think mindset of a public speaker also matters a lot because you were also sharing this that rather than putting the spotlight on you, put the spotlight on them or say I'm excited, use powerful affirmations. So how to exactly maybe some of the mindset hacks if you can share as a public speaker or if somebody is not even a speaker but they are into the world of communication.
I think one of the things that we haven't spoken about is affirmations. And
Yes.
I did not used to believe in them earlier.
Okay.
And I think affirmations alone are not going to help you. You need to put in
Yes.
the work behind those affirmations. I hope I say every day, I'm a billionaire and I have a private yacht and a boat. But it doesn't work like that. You need to put in the work to support that affirmation.
Right.
Here's a story I haven't shared in this podcast yet.
Okay.
When I started doing door-to-door sales, in the first 2 weeks, Gargi, my boss, in the second week, on Thursday of the second week of me starting at the job, my boss sat me down on a table, just like this one. He was on the other side, I'm on the other side. My boss says, Shiv, we know you're doing all the right things, but maybe this job is not for you. Which was his polite way of saying that if you don't start showing results, you're fired. Because in the first 2 weeks, I had zero sales. And I'm walking back to my home and I'm thinking, I've been doing everything properly. I've been making notes. I've been working hard. Why am I not able to sell? I'm thinking about this. As I reach home over that weekend, on that Saturday and Sunday, I start looking about sales and psychology on YouTube. And then I found this study. I found that through evolution, our brain has been programmed to give more weight and importance to negative thoughts as compared to positive thoughts. It's called the negativity bias, if you want to read about it.
Yes.
Because when you were a caveman and you were in a cave, you walk out of your cave and you hear some rocks trembling. You don't know if it is just the wind or if it is a tiger there ready to pounce on you. So you would immediately put your attention there. So the importance and the weight of any fearful thought is higher than a positive thought. So to counteract that, you need at least 3 to 4 positive thoughts for one negative thought.
Yes.
I'll tell you what were the negative thoughts that I had in my mind. I used to think that I come from India, I speak English as my second language, I have a different skin color, I have an accent, people are going to be rude to me, people are going to be racist to me, I would have a terrible time. In the first 2 weeks, even if I was working hard, every time I would knock on a door, someone would open it. Those thoughts were repeating. And they were negative. They were negative, the most negative thoughts you can think of doing that job. And that was stopping me from connecting with people. So over that weekend, when I learned about this, what I did was I took out a piece of paper as big as a credit card and I wrote down, my mission statement is to have fun and happy conversations with people at door. I wrote it down, I laminated it, and we had ID cards when we would work. I put it behind my ID card. Third week on Monday, before I even knocked on the door, I was reading it out aloud. My mission statement is to have fun conversations with people at door. My mission, I would read it 50 times even before knocking on the first door. Did my negative thought go away on the first door? No, because as we learn, they have more weight and importance. So as soon as I would go to the second door, between that, I would quickly look at my ID card and I'll say, my mission statement is to have fun conversations with people at door. I said it, I don't even know, thousands of times over that next 2 weeks. Fourth week, this story sounds made up, but it's not. Fourth week, my boss sat me down again. This time he said, congratulations, Shiv, you're promoted. Because I went from 0 sales to having 16 in the next 2 weeks. So I was a person who almost got fired in the same month and got promoted in the same month. Because in sales, your promotion is not based on the time, it's based on results. I was able to bring in those results. Only thing that I changed was the story I was repeating to myself. So to bring it back, I would say if you want to learn this skill or any skill, it's see what is the story you're telling yourself. See what is that negative thought that you're carrying. Once you find it, counteract it. If you want it, write it down. Maybe put it on your wallpaper and read it out aloud multiple times a day until that becomes your new identity.
So true. Like the life we are living is all just a life that our mind is telling as a story. Great. Thank you so much and congratulations for the jump that you had from 0 to 16 sales.
Thank you.
So how was your confidence at that point of time? Like what did you realize after seeing that shift?
I just realized that how crazy it is that only thing that I changed was what I was selling myself. Everything else was the same, but I was able to connect with people. And again, my intention shifted now. Now I was no longer thinking that this person who is an Australian or whatever is opening this door is going to be rude or racist to me, or I was not conscious about my accent. I was not conscious about my English. I was just there genuinely to have fun conversations with people at doors. My intention shifted, and so did my energy. There's a very good quote. I might be not quoting it properly, but it says, "Your energy goes wherever your attention goes."
Yes.
Something
Your
like that.
energy flows wherever your focus goes.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yes.
So it's so important that wherever your focus and your attention is, your your energy is
Energy.
gonna flow. So put your focus and attention to the right thing, and your energy would be right.
Amazing. So, I just got a very important question right now because here, let's say, for example, if anybody is into speaking and all these things, of course, at the end of the day, people are wanting that, sales part should be there, money should be there. So, I am not sure whether it's the right time to ask this question, but, how do we exactly promote ourselves or sell ourselves to the public without sounding salesy?
As a speaker, do you mean as a coach,
yes.
as a speaker?
As a speaker or as anybody who is on stage, who is talking to people.
See, selling is an important part of anything you do. And you've heard this line so many times, just always selling. You're selling one thing or the other. If you have the skills, if you have the intentions, you have something of value to share to the world. You're doing a disservice not to just yourself, but to the people if you don't share it with other people.
Yes.
But at the same time, it is your job. Like, let's say if you go to work in a corporate, what are you selling or what are you investing? It's your time. It's your skill set there, and you're getting a paycheck for it. But the thing with selling is like we get afraid of making that ask for money. But still, you need to realize as a coach, as a founder, as whoever, you have some skill set that you have developed, spending your time and energy, right? Like you are here right now at 7 p.m. doing this podcast. You're putting in the hours, which is helping you develop those skills.
Yes.
You should be charging for that, first of all, like because you have put in hours to be good at what you do, right? So first thing is really learn that it's okay to sell and to charge, because that is our vocation, that is our job, that's how we make a living, right? First thing. Second thing is the answer is always no if you never ask. The door is always closed if you never knock. So never be afraid to make that ask. Knock on that door, right? If you have the right intentions, if you have something of value to share with the world, tell what is worth. And there are many different ways. Let's say when I started my speaking and training journey, I did a lot of free trainings, and some people might say that's the right thing, that's not the right thing. But some of my most profitable engagements have happened off the back of some of the free workshops that I did. Because when you're starting out, this is again just my philosophy, people don't know you, people don't know your skills, especially in public speaking. You need to show it to them when you're on stage. How do people trust that they will pay you? You go on stage and you deliver a good job.
Right.
So you do something for free. And in the very beginning, Gargi, if you can't find anyone to pay you to do a speaking gig, or let's say even for free, no one is wanting you to go and talk to their audience for free, bring in your own audience. In 2024, January, when I started, this is how my career started, I booked a room of about 20 people. It wasn't fancy, it didn't look the best. 20 seats. I only needed walls and seats. I booked that room. That was the first workshop that I ever did. And then I reached out to everybody that I knew. I think I reached out to more than 400 people on LinkedIn, on WhatsApp, everybody in Sydney that I knew. I was telling them, hey, I'm doing this first workshop for public speaking and communication. I would love for you to be there. I texted it to 400 more people. Guess how many showed up? 15, right? But that was great. I started. What happened was I got proof of concept. When I was there, I was like, this is the first time I'm training people. People found value in what I was saying. So proof of concept, yes, I can deliver things that people actually want to learn. Second, I got content out of it. I had pictures, I had videos that I was able to share it across. So now other people knew that I could do this, and they have seen me doing it. So now I started doing more of these free workshops. That's another way to do it.
Wow, that's such an amazing thing. Like, I can go on and on listening to your experiences. So, coming to one more question, like, if somebody wants to connect with you and they want to join any of your programs, they want a session from you, or anything that you are teaching and helping clients with, what's the way forward?
Yeah, well, thanks for that. First of all, thank you for organizing this podcast. It has been a lovely, lovely time. Honestly, I'm feeling so grateful right now. And thank you to everybody listening to it as well. If you watched it till the end, thank you. The way to connect with me is probably best shoot me a message on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Speak with Shiv. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. My name is Shiv Bhardwaj. If you put in Speak with Shiv on LinkedIn, you will find me there as well. Let me know you're coming from the Gargi Arya's podcast, so I know. So I help founders and I help corporate professionals develop
Okay.
their communication and public speaking skills to never miss out on investment opportunities. You might be a great startup founder, but you don't know how to pitch.
Yes.
You start shaking when you're asking for that money. I help them how to do that properly. You might be a manager or a director in a corporate environment, but you might lead a team of 20 when it comes to doing town halls or those team meetings. Your voice is not audible. I can help you with that. So if you want trainings one-on-one, or if you want me to go and deliver workshops at your organization, at universities, please reach out and I'll be happy to connect.
Awesome. So everyone, just make sure that you check out all the links in the description below. The Instagram handle, the LinkedIn handle, everything will be there in the description. I just want to tell all of you two things. The first is everything that we talked about in this podcast, it's not just the trailer. I don't even think it's the trailer. It's a teaser of all the movie that he's creating in his own world, in his favorite movie. So that's the first thing. And second is, if you connected with him, if you would like to upscale your communication skills, make sure that you go ahead, you reach out to him, you talk to him and take your journey to the next level. And the third thing, if you have invested your 1 hour watching this, I just hope that you are not just watching it, but you are also going to implement the stuff, because at the end of the day, what changes a person is action. So just make sure that you do all these things. And before I conclude, I just want to hear one thing from you, maybe the last message that you have for us.
Try besan ke laddu if you're in Delhi. No, I think you have summarized it pretty well. Implementation is the key. Action is the key. If you have heard what I have said, great. If you have made notes, even better. But nothing would help you grow as you actually doing it.
Yes.
So just do it.
Awesome. So how was your experience?
I honestly, you're a great host. I think you have an incredible energy and enthusiasm that makes me feel comfortable from the very beginning. And I just felt it was a conversation.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming over here and investing your time. I'm always very much, basically curious about this topic of communication, public speaking, because I have gone through that journey myself and I'm still on it, still not the perfect version. But being with you, I've learned a lot as a host also, and I'm sure that I'm also going to implement all these things and get back to you for another podcast.
I will love that. What's your one key takeaway?
So my one key takeaway for sure is the first line that you said, the favorite movie or the best movie is the one I'm living. But apart from it, I guess I really learned the power of your tonality, the body language. So these two were my main things. And for sure, the techniques that you had said, the smile technique, the prep technique that you had shared. So all these things were my key takeaways.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. So thank you so much, everyone. See you for another podcast. Stay tuned.